Hey there, so I thought I would do my June favourites. I know it's July already, but as I mentioned in my previous video, things have been rather hectic, and yeah, I thought I'd do my June favourites for you. So, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this, but I will start off with, I guess, skincare. It's not, I guess it is in some ways. I picked this up about 2-3 weeks ago, and it is the Roche-Posay Anthelios SPF 30 liquid. No, it's not the liquid one. I always get confused with these ones, but it's the melt-in cream, and it looks like this. You get how many milliliters? 50 milliliters, and you need like the tiniest bit. In terms of how much I would use, this would probably cover my whole face, quite sparingly as well, and it literally does melt in just as it says it in the title. And I thought you can get it in SPF 50, which is again fabulous, but I feel like I want to still get some form of a tan on my face, so I thought 30 would be rather appropriate. I am going on holiday soon where it's going to be a lot hotter than it is here, and the sun's going to be a lot stronger, but hopefully I think that should be alright for me. For some reason my face doesn't burn as much as the rest of my body, and I guess if you have some form of makeup on top of it as well, that tends to help it. Sorry, this is a cut-in. I realised that I forgot to mention some things about the La Roche-Posay Anthelios melting cream with SPF 30. Now the reason that I really like this is because it almost feels like a primer in some ways. I put it on and my skin looks a lot more even. I guess that's just an after effect of it, but it just looks good on the skin. And it also, when it says Anthelios, it's like a whole range that they have, and it's non-perfumed and it's paraben free, so I feel a bit better of putting it on my skin. It also helps to, it's aimed at skin that's sensitive. I don't know specifically if it's sun sensitive or not, but I also feel like it's helped. It stops, I've noticed that my skin isn't breaking out as much, and it just seems to work really nicely on my skin. It's also water resistant, which just I guess helps with sweat and in heat, and also if you get your face wet accidentally. But yeah, I just have been really loving it and what it's done for me, so love that. So speaking of a base for the face, I've really been enjoying BareMinerals in Original. I picked this up at the beginning of the month after finally getting it. I've been meaning to, it's been on my list for a long time now, and I got it in the shade Fair. And instead of getting the matte one, which I tried out a couple months back and really I liked it, but I felt the matte one, it was too matte for me, whereas this one is the original, and I feel like this one does work a lot better. And it's been perfect for summer because I was using my Laura Mercier, but I felt like that was getting a bit oily in the summer and kind of melting off. But this as a powder has worked brilliantly. And so to achieve a flawless kind of base, I've actually really enjoyed using the EcoTools, and I believe this is the blush brush, I think. Sorry, this is also another add-in. I realised as I was editing that for some reason when I was speaking about the EcoTools blush brush, it seemed to not, it focused on the blush brush, and then afterwards it seemed to not focus back on me, so everything was literally a complete blur. So I'm gonna have to kind of redo all of it. Well, not all of it, just redo this little bit that it was blurry. So I was talking about how I was using with the BareMinerals foundation. I used the EcoTools blush brush that just, for some reason when I buff it in, it just seems to give such a flawless coverage. If I use Kabuki, it kind of sometimes can look a bit patchy. Maybe just the one that I have isn't that brilliant, but this I found works really well, and it gives a nice, it's not too big, it doesn't create that bigger coverage. It doesn't look heavy because this really buffs it in, and it gets rid of any harsh lines or bits that I haven't missed, and it's just an all-round brilliant brush. Interestingly, it's the blush brush, not a powder brush, so I may try the powder brush and see if that works just as well. Because the BareMinerals foundation, it gives quite a nice coverage in itself, I don't really need to use that much concealer. But the concealer that I've been using for ever since I really started using it, which was probably sometime towards the end of last year, 2010, I can't believe last year was 2010. And it is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in SPF 35, and the shade I'm in is NW15. This is just brilliant. As you can see, it's a brand new one because I just literally repurchased this at the beginning of June. I was on the very last legs of my other one of these. I've got through about 2 of these now. I think I've had each of them for about 6 months, so they last a very, very long time, and they're fabulous. It gives me the right coverage, doesn't break out my skin, but more importantly not more importantly, but what I think is really incredible is it comes with an SPF of 35, which is just incredible. I don't know many foundations or concealers for that matter that actually do provide that amount, which also just, it not doubles up, because obviously SPF doesn't quite work like that, but it just really works well with this and will just pair up very nicely to make sure I really don't burn in the sun. So that's the concealer that I've been loving for the past almost year, I guess. Then I think that was it. I think I'm about to go and talk about the primer potion that I've been wearing lately by Urban Decay. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I apologise for this random cutting. Moving on to eyes. In general, I've been applying the Urban Decay primer potion for eyes, and this has just been wonderful. I got it in a little sample size with my Naked palette, and I loved it so much that I bought the big size, and as you can see, it's kind of the new packaging, which is brilliant. It means that I'm really going to be able to get at the product, unlike the previous packaging, which just was a bit of a faff. But this has been brilliant. It really does keep things on. The only thing I have a slight problem with is the Beige-ing Shadestick. I think it's just purely because of this, it just creases so easily. But this is something that I have really, really enjoyed using. It's just a great all over the lid colour. I just pencil it on, and that's what it looks like, and give it a swatch. It's just such a nice gold summery colour that I can just shove on and not really have to think about it much, which is perfect if you're wanting a kind of natural look, specifically for the summer. Next up is, I've particularly been loving Twinks, this kind of reddy kind of brown colour, or red undertones at least, and it's just a lovely colour. It's very, I mean, it looks quite pigmented on swatch, but actually it's quite faint. If I just show you there, it's quite faint, and I just love to use this in the crease and in the corner to kind of give a smoky, just to smoke things up sometimes. And another eyeshadow is oh, I can't remember what it's called. Nylon, there we go. Sorry, Nylon, this one here, just as it's brilliant highlighting. Only thing is it's got slight yellow undertone, but apart from that, I've been using it to highlight a lot of, especially just under my brow bone. And finally, on the eyes, I have been using, I bought this a couple of days ago, but it was in the month of June, so it does count, and it is the Topshop Eye Mousse in Glint. Really cute packaging again. I like this whole kind of gold rim around it, or almost reminds me of Shatterglass effect. But I'll just quickly show you it in the pot. And this is really good. That's what it looks like. I'm wearing it on my eyes at the moment, and it is quite dark, so I have to be careful not to put too much on it, otherwise I kind of look bruised-eyed effect. But apart from that, it's wonderful. It's a nice bronzy colour for summer. Again, a lot of my makeup is generally based around summer. In terms of staying power, this on top of the primer potion, it doesn't budge at all. It slightly loses its pigmentation, but it doesn't crease. And if I don't wear it with primer potion, so far I haven't noticed it creasing. So I've been very, very impressed, as I am with always with Topshop. They seem the staying power of a lot of their products is really rather fantastic. And then a couple more products, sorry. This is the Revlon Just Bitten Lip Stain and Balm in Passion. And it's the one that, oh, I can't remember what her name is. The person that is modelling for these, she is wearing that one. I have to say, it doesn't come up as bright as it does in that picture. In that picture it looks slightly more orangey, whereas this is definitely a bright pink. And this stuff really does have great staying power on skin. So that's just kind of, there we go, that's the kind of colour, but obviously on the lips it's intensified because of the natural pigmentation that you already have. And as you can see, it doesn't budge now that if I rub my hand over it, it doesn't budge. But on the lips you have to be extremely careful. Unfortunately, the balm that comes with breaks really easily. I broke it within a day of having it. Well, not a day, but 2 days of having it. Just kind of, I took the lid off and it just snapped like that. So I was slightly disappointed. But the thing is with lip balms, if you put it on, I don't know if there's like a chemical reaction of some sort, I guess that must be why, but it seems to increase the chances of the lip stain actually coming off. And so it's better if you just leave it with a matte kind of finish and maybe touch up with lip balm a couple hours later maybe, just otherwise you do lose it. And it's such a pretty colour, and I've actually been trying to find lipsticks to kind of copy it. So if you have if you've tried this, oh gosh, if you've tried this and you know of a lipstick colour that's very similar, please let me know, because I would like something with a little bit more longevity, just a little bit more staying power. But love this colour, it's just gorgeous. I think I've mentioned this already in a previous favourites, but I've really been loving the NARS Laguna bronzer. I've got it in the NARS trio that came out for the summer. Which is this one here, the big one, and you guys have all seen it really, and it's just wonderful. It works really well on my skin, it's not too much, and again, if I do put too much I can blend it out with this brush, and it just gives a really nice kind of colour, a natural glow almost. So yeah, then the last product, sorry, I know it feels like quite a lot and I'm trying to rush through it all because my camera only allows a certain amount of minutes. This has been wonderful. It's the EcoTools. I've been really into EcoTools lately. Their brushes are wonderful. Eye set, and it comes with 5 brushes, and as you can see I really need to clean it. And it comes with a mirror, but I'm not so keen on this mirror. It's not great quality, but I like the fact that it comes in a really handy bag that you can just chuck in a bag and go with. But it just has really handy things. They do say on the brush what you're supposed to use it for, but I have to admit I've kind of used it for different things. So like the highlighting brush I've used for crease, it's been brilliant for that. The blending, if I want to kind of, I will also use this for blending, but sometimes I use it to actually put a wash of colour on my eyes. The smudge I have used actually for smudging. The Shadestick one though is tiny. I don't know really how you could use that. I guess that's more for precise application. I guess the only thing that's missing is the liner, but I'm not so fussed about that. I mean, I have one already, and ironically that one is actually EcoTools as well. But I've been very, very impressed with this and have just reached for it pretty much every single day when doing my eye makeup, unless of course it's the Shadestick, which I just use from the stick, or the mousse, which I just pat on with my fingers, and it works really well. So that is, oh no wait, one more item, it's kind of run away. In terms of lip balms, I've been loving the Pomegranate Lip Butter by Korres, which is completely natural. I saw this on Lisa Eldridge's, on one of her videos, and I thought it was really, really pretty. I think it was on her organic makeup thing. I've kind of got something in there, so I apologise about that. That's the only problem, you have to dip your finger, so it's not exactly hygienic, but meh. But it's a lovely colour, and I just love to pat it on my lips, really. So that's been really handy, and it feels really moisturising, and it lasts, which some, like my Nivea, it doesn't last very long, although it does feel very nourishing. So that is my favourites video for the month of June. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good start to the month of July. See you guys soon.